Hey,
Hey,
girlies! I'm sorry, that was funny. Guys, this is our second episode, but you guys don't know this. It's our second time recording this episode.
We had some technical difficulties in the last one.
Some serious technical difficulties.
We had the jankiest setup on planet Earth, and I thought it would work. Didn't work. But you know what? I know what I need to fix for next time, so that we can actually record in person.
Yeah, the idea was there. The intention was good. We were all together in person, and we had great conversation.
This setup was not bad, Jules. You need to give yourself credit.
I know, it was great.
It was good.
I think it was just
makeshift. It was
an accident. Literally, we just ended up recording on top of each other. I think me and Maddie's mics just intertwined, and it ended up being it just sounded like we were very far away, and we don't want our second episode to be on a bad note. I mean, we don't want to go backwards. And I think the reason we say that is because, you guys have given us so much support and love from our first episode. So thank you so much. And you know what? We have the little round of applause for our audience, Jules. Round of applause for our supporters and our followers, and just a round of applause to you, because we would not be here recording the second episode right now, I don't think. Maybe we would have. I don't know.
I think honestly, we still would have for us.
For us.
Yeah.
I think definitely
as we said when we started.
Yeah, I think definitely after recording that second episode and then messing up, it just pushed us though to okay, let's just do it again. Let's make it the best quality possible for our listeners, because we're just so thankful for you guys. We can't thank you enough for just listening, tuning in, giving your feedback. I mean, it really meant the world to us.
Yeah, I mean, the feedback was honestly the biggest part for me, especially because I do kind of the behind the scenes stuff and with the soundtracks and the videos and all that, and to know that you guys thought the quality looked good, I was like, dang, okay, I guess I did do a pretty good job. I'm very meticulous about that, so I was like, if there's any slight thing wrong, I don't want to put it out. It has to be perfect. And so for me to put that out there with these girls, and for it to, for y'all to say that it looked good, I mean, hit my heart, because made me feel good, made us feel more motivated to keep going.
Yeah, and I would think we were all pretty grateful too that we reached out to even an audience we didn't expect. Yes, we said this was for the girls, but we even reached out to some guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was
we
know
good.
who you are now.
Yeah, and you guys said, I think the most important thing that some people said was it was relatable, and I know all three of us that's what we wanted. This is unfiltered. This is our experience. These are things that we've gone through, we've lived through, and it's not meant to be for aesthetic or anything. It's literally just, this is life, and sometimes life is rough, but sometimes life is great too at the same time. So we want to share all of our struggles and all of our happy moments with you guys, because even if it reaches out to just a few of you, just to let you know you're not alone, then I feel hey, let's keep doing this, because I know when I feel like that from a podcast, if I listen to someone else saying it on their podcast, I'm like, whew, thank God I'm not the only one that doesn't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, you're kind of going through the same thing as me, and you have this amazing podcast.
Yeah, period.
I'm on the same wavelength with you.
Yeah, slay.
I think that's what also keeps me wanting to listen more. It's just they're so relatable. Let me keep receiving whatever they have to give me. So
yes. But we are so excited for this upcoming episode. This upcoming episode is going to be all about love, engagements, and just everything that comes in between those things. And on our last episode, well, when we recorded this the first time, we did our segment of shit that pissed us off at work, which honestly, I really don't have anything new to bring up, because in our previous episode, I had brought up an incident. But I feel since it's a a fresh episode, a new episode. I've let it go. God's got me. I'm like, I've let it go. I don't hold grudges anymore.
I mean,
So
Has anything
yes,
pissed you
new
off at
beginning.
work, Jules?
I was like,
Still nothing. I mean, like, I don't know. You know, like
oh
things,
wait, I
like
got
things have been
something
going
now.
smoothly.
Oh, I was like, I knew she was gonna have something. She has to. She's a teacher with
I got
children.
something now. Just like,
Go ahead.
honestly, just like, I work with 5 and 6-year-olds, and I just can't believe the level of disrespect from some of these kids. I'm like, who do y'all think you're talking to? Like, I just don't understand. So, I mean, honestly, it's an ongoing issue, but I'm just baffled. Like, as an educator, I'm like, you're 5 and 6. How are we talking like this to me? I'm so confused.
No,
It's so
I
like
could never imagine.
it's just so rude. Well, I could never imagine like my 5 or 6-year-old self talking to a teacher like that. I was scared out of my mind. I was scared of my parents. I was like, but I just feel like I don't know. I was telling my mom. I was like, I really like sometimes feel like, and I know you'll feel like this in jobs. I feel like this is just like any normal thing. Like you'll feel from your bosses or maybe from your coworkers, but like I just feel this from my students sometimes. Like just very like unappreciated. I'm not of importance. I'm not of significance. And that's obviously very like
And I mean, you're the reason that they're, learning new things. I mean,
It is
I
because of
mean,
Miss Kate.
well, it's just like, honey, like, come on now. Like, we gotta be here. Like, I'm here, you're here. Like,
want to be here just as much as you, but like,
one
let's
and
keep
one,
going.
one and one. It's just not understanding. It's just not matching up. Like, I'm not understanding this. But honestly, that's just like been pissing me off, and that's just been an ongoing issue from day one. So we think like that's just. I'm sure more stuff will happen. It's the beginning of the week. So I'm sure more will come, but for now, I think that's just some shit that pissed me off. But Jules, I'm glad nothing pissed you off at work because it's always so nice.
I mean, I think I said this in the one that we recorded like a little while ago. Like, y'all deal with crazy people, and not like crazy like mentally, but like they're children, and you have people that are like in the hospital. I do the same thing like every day, and I'm just like I see the same people, and nobody's like,
It's like, what's the hot gossip at the office?
yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, no high gossip. I mean, if I did, have
Everyone's
some,
just pretty.
Y'all
I
like
know,
literally
everyone's
never have drama or like anything. Y'all are all pretty chill. You feel? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Jules
Jules.
can't hear you,
Can't hear you.
Jules.
Wait, you can't hear me?
Hardly.
It's like
Oh,
muffled.
I turned the knob. I turned
Oh,
I turned this thing.
I was like,
Oopsies.
can't
I
hear
know.
anything.
But those are like.
I was like, did the tone that I said that make you think that I had some drama to say at work? I was like, oh no, I don't.
Good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
always good. I mean,
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Monty, do you have anything?
Oh. Uh. Here, let me just do a simple one.
let me just do a small one.
Because, I mean, for the healthcare workers that do listen, I don't know how many, but I mean, this is just for the regular audience. I don't know if some of you know, healthcare workers do have superstitions with Friday the 13th, full moons, and all of that. So,
I didn't know that.
definitely since that last full moon we just had, um, we've been getting dumpster fire of patients.
Oh.
And I would just say, like, my biggest thing that will piss me off on my shift is, we'll have a bed planner that will tell us, like, hey, you have incoming patients coming to your unit if you have open beds. And luckily for our unit, because we are cancer we get to block beds for people we know who are going to be direct admits to get treated. Well, that next day, we didn't have any. So it was around like that full moon time. They wanted to send like 3 patients from the ED to us, which always kind of sucks for us because we're not used to med surgy patients. We're used to our cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I get report like mid shift. I would say what that's like 2, 3. I have the bed open, everything's prepped, write my name on the board, bed's good, and I'm like waiting for this patient to come. They already gave me the report, and I'm waiting and waiting. And then another nurse also gets report from the ED, and another nurse because we were getting 3 patients. None of them show up. We're waiting the whole shift, and like, yeah, that's nice, but we were prepped because we know how the ED works. And they love to send them the last 30 minutes of your shift.
Oh.
And that just like will very much piss me off because there you are shuffling that last 30 minutes when I should be getting ready to give a report to the night shift like, hey, these are going to be your patients.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing too crazy. I mean, that is like a biggest pet peeve of mine is when the ED like just will wait because they don't want to get another patient. So they do it on purpose.
That's
And I'm
so
like,
annoying.
it's the flow of the hospital, man. Like we're 24-hour operation. Like keep them coming,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I was like, I had to do the whole admission for them because I didn't want to leave that to night shift. Like that just sucks for them. But it was really annoying. So nothing too crazy.
But don't you guys have to do like a report too? Like day shift has to do like a whole report that takes like a while before you leave.
Yeah, so night shift is coming in and they're like, what's the deal with this patient? I'm like, I'm so sorry to tell you, I just got them 15 minutes ago, so I can't even tell you much, but this is what the ED nurse told me. So I kind of give them what the ED told me. And I just feel bad, like, leaving that tonight to have to figure out, because it's nice being in the day, like, seeing how ambulatory they are, what their limits are. But when you get them the last 5 minutes of your shift, you can't do a full assessment. I didn't get to go put my stethoscope to their chest, check their lungs out. Like, I didn't get to do any of that. Our unit's quick on, like, we need to get their height and weight, and we do skin check. So that's all I got to do. And I was like, bye, like, I'm so sorry. So it just makes me feel like a shitty nurse.
Yeah, because
But
you can do
it's
your
like,
job.
then I'm like,
Like,
oh, look at
well,
the time. It's time to go.
you're like, I actually have to leave right now. It's 7:00. That's time for me to go. That's
Good
me when
thing
it's
we run
3:30.
24 hours.
Oh no, when it's 3:30, I'm like, it's 3:30. Bye. Peace. Peace. It's nice
Y'all
seeing
need
y'all.
me no more.
I know.
But
There's
yeah.
times where I've stayed later. I feel like, that just happens, like with work. Like you just end up staying later, but
Yeah.
it's the workflow. It's just that work life.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that nothing has just like ticked us off though so severely that it's just like, because I know sometimes when that happens, it's like it makes you not want to go into work the next day. Like you're just like, I don't want to be here. I'm done. But you guys, as teachers, we get the whole week off next week because it's Thanksgiving.
I did not realize how close it's next week. Like I didn't realize how close it
Thanksgiving
was.
was next week either.
It's next week and I got the week off. I'm so happy.
Oh, that's good.
Girl, I hope I get paid.
You have to. There's no way.
I would hope
No
so.
way.
Like, Jesus.
There's literally no way. I would
I'll be
be
working my
terrified for
ass
you.
off. I'm like, please pay me too.
Please.
Literally, please pay me. But yes, that was shit that pissed us off at work. And now I think we can just dive into my engagement story. Why was I going to say our? My silly me.
Well, you and your fiance.
Me and my fiance's engagement story. I'm going to go into how it happened, where it happened, emotions that I felt during that time, and just my reaction to the whole thing. So I feel like a lot of you, not a lot of you, the audience, I'm talking about Maudie and Jules, and a few other of our friends were like, did you know? Did you know? That was the biggest question, like, did you know? And I kind of had like a feeling because one, Kyle cannot hide anything from me. Like I'm very like I just pick up when he's being weird. Like I just know, and I'll kind of just like nitpick. I'm like, why are you being so off? Like what's wrong? And I'll just kind of keep going and going and going. So there was a weekend, and it was the weekend of our proposal, and he was just like, hey, and this was last minute. Like he had just sprung on me last minute, like, hey, Jules is going to take pictures of us this weekend on Saturday, so we're like on a tight schedule. I'm just letting you know, like we're going. And I'm just kind of like, pictures? Like, what do you mean pictures? Like Kyle, my fiance, is not someone that I think like would willingly like want to take pictures like this, like a photo shoot or anything. That's just not him. That's just not who he is. And I feel like that's more of me, like to pull him and do those things. But I just was kind of, that's why I was so confused. I was like, why are you like being so adamant on this? Like, we need to take pictures at this time. This is the time we're going to leave. Then after that, we're going to do this and this and that. And I'm like, what? And I'm just so confused because I'm like, why are we so on a tight schedule? And like, you're telling me last minute. Like, I don't know. I knew something was up, but then he was just trying to like backtrack, and he was very much like, no, I'm not doing it this weekend. I promise. And I was like, okay, if you're not doing it this weekend, then we do have a dog. His name is Cooper. He's the cutest little thing ever. And I told him, okay, let's bring Cooper then. Like, if this is a family picture, the dog better be in the picture. The dog is a part of the family. And he's just like, okay, yeah, like, that's fine. That's cool.
Whatever.
So, fast forward to Saturday. I'm like, Jules is coming over. Like, we are on a tight schedule. We wake up. He's like, let's go. Like, start getting ready. Like, I need you to start getting ready. Like, it's this time. Like, we need to go. I want to leave by this time to get there by this time. I'm like, where are we even going? Like, what? And so Jules is like, next thing I know, she's already at our house. And I'm like, hey, and I'm like, all ready. And I'm like, all right, so we're going to bring Coop. And Jules is like, oh. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I was like,
maybe not today.
yeah, Jules was like, I love you, Cooper. But she was like, but no, that's like not happening. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
starting to catch on a little bit.
I just kind of like, I feel like I was just kind of catching on because Kyle was just acting so nervous and so like not himself that I was just like, okay, something's about to go down. So we drive to, it's called the Lawn Center. It's in Austin, and it's a beautiful area. It just overlooks like the whole skyline of Austin, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And one thing that needs to be noted, our engagement was the day of the lunar eclipse, or the solar eclipse. Solar, not lunar, solar.
Yeah.
It was the day of the solar eclipse. And I'm not kidding you. We're like driving to downtown Austin. I'm like, guys, there's like a literal tint in the sky.
Yeah.
I was like, there looks like there's a filter in the sky. And they're like, it's okay, it's fine. I'm like, all right. I feel like I'm just kind of like, maybe we should reschedule. Like, maybe we should just do another day. And Kyle's, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We get there. Jules, I would say we were taking pictures for a while, like at least 20, 25 minutes, like before he actually like got down on one knee.
Yeah, so I had the ring in my backpack with like all my camera stuff because I was trying to disguise it as best I could. You know, whether, I was like, whether she caught on or not, I was like, I want to try and keep this as low key as possible. So I have the ring in my backpack. Because, I mean, this thing is, like, this thick. I mean, like,
It's
it was
huge.
a pretty
like,
big box.
Jesus, the box. Yeah, the box was like, I mean, Jesus, there was no hiding that.
Yeah. Like, if Kyle had that, like, in his front pocket, back pocket, wherever,
Kate would have spotted it.
No, it would have been way too
immediately.
obvious. Like, I would have been like, okay, you're proposing. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah. And so, and I'm also, like the tint from whatever's going on outside is just making everything look a little bit off. There's shadows.
Oh.
The sun was the sun wasn't giving, but the sun was also like going through it, solar eclipse, whatever. And so I was like trying to find a good spot on top of like trying to make sure that whatever shot I ended up getting like looked good. And that was it was very difficult. But yeah, I feel like we were there for a while, and
yeah, like, and I just felt like the thing is, I felt like I knew what was happening, so I would try to give Kyle like an opportunity to do it. Like Jules be taking pictures. Like Jules can attest to this. Like she knows, like she's taking pictures, and I look at Kyle and I'm like, I love you so much. Like this is so nice that we're doing this. Like I'm literally
setting him up.
Like I'm like, do it now, and he's like, no. And I come to find out, like the reason he's not doing it is because Jules has the ring. So he has not gotten the opportunity to grab the ring yet. So I'm just like, when is this happening? Like,
Jules,
okay,
I love how you said, wait a minute, who's proposing?
No, yeah, I was gonna say, I would like to like point out that we're taking pictures. Kyle still doesn't have the ring. We're like, I'm just like, because what I'll do is like, even if they're not posing, like I'll try and take candid pictures. And so like I'm seeing them like walk around, like I'm with my camera, I'm like watching them, and I'm like looking at Kate, and I'm like, you know something, or like, are you proposing
I was being the Rizzler. I was being a Rizzler. I was like,
not,
come on,
no. Straight Rizzler. And
I was trying to like give him that chance. Like, come on now. Like, it's now or never. And I'm not gonna lie. Like for a while, it came to a point in my head. I was like, I don't know if it's happening right now. Like, is he gonna do it now or is he gonna do it later? Like, I'm confused now because it was just not happening. And then so. I guess like 5 or 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let's take a walking picture, Kyle. So I'm like walking like forward while I'm like telling Jules, okay, take pictures of us while we walk. And Kyle just like grabs my arm and he's like, no, we're doing this right now. I'm like, what are we doing? And I turn around and there he is on one knee. And I was like in shock. Like I literally did not know how to react. I was just like, this is happening right now. And in Kyle formation, like literally just being like, Caitlin, will you marry me? And I was like, no speech. And he just like smiles at me and laughs, and he's like, Caitlin, Catherine. He's like, I love you so much. Catherine's my middle name, if you guys didn't know. But he's like, Caitlin, Catherine, I love you so much. Like, will you spend the rest of your life with me? I was like, okay. Yeah. So, and I've just always been the type of person, like, if someone does something like very like nice and affectionate like that to me, but like especially like in public, like I just get very like, I don't know how to react. Like I've just kind of like, and that's always been like that. Like I just always like, I'm like, okay, I feel awkward. Like everyone's staring at me. Like, and I just think that's just who I am. Like I remember one time my dad like brought me flowers to school, and I was like, what are you doing? Like stop. But I think like in that moment I was just so surprised. Like I couldn't believe it was happening. Like we're walking back, because after he had proposed, he tells me like, okay, we're gonna meet up with Maddie and our other friend Frank for brunch on Rainy Street, and we're gonna celebrate with them for a little bit, and then we have other things to do later in the day. And so we're walking back to the parking garage where we had parked, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is happening. Like this is crazy. And I'm just like in disbelief. Like I can't believe like I'm a fiance now. Like I've upgraded from girlfriend to fiance now, and you know, we go get brunch with everybody, and that was just a really special moment, like, you know, to celebrate with Maddie and Frank, and we had such a great time. We got mimosas, and if you don't know what a mimosa is, y'all, it's a full bottle of champagne and a splash of OJ.
I was about to say, and some OJ.
A splash of OJ, but we ate, we celebrated, we took some pictures. It was fantastic, and then we ended up leaving brunch, and Kyle and I come back home. Jules comes and picks up her car, and she leaves to go back to San Antonio. And Kyle and I are at the house, and I think this is where him and I really just shared like a very intimate moment with each other, just like crying, like both of us just very overwhelmed, and but very in a good way, like overwhelmed with love and just feeling so happy and so grateful for this moment, because I think, this is something that we, since high school probably thought, but as you get older, sometimes it's just people grow and people change, and that's okay. Sometimes things don't last, but I think him and I, we both knew that we're like soul tied, like we're soulmates, we love each other, and for this to finally just start coming into fruition it was just such an overwhelming feeling of joy and love. And I think just sharing that moment with him here at our house privately, just like with each other, was just such a beautiful moment. And I just like look back on that moment. I think that was just one of the most special moments that we shared together because of what we said to one another and just what we talked about. And it was just crazy. Like, it was just such a beautiful moment in our relationship. And so then he's like, all right, we gotta go. We gotta pack up and go to San Antonio. I'm like, okay, like, we're going to San Antonio. And I kind of figured we were going to San Antonio because earlier in the week, I had talked to my dad, and my dad was like, hey, your grandpa's coming into town. Why don't you come see him on Saturday? Like, are you guys doing anything? I'm like, no, like, I don't think we're doing anything. Like, that sounds great. Like, yeah. So when he was like, we're going to go to your dad's, I was like, the light bulb came up. I was like, oh, I understand now. Why are we going? Why are we going to San Antonio? I understand. So, and what I didn't expect though was we're driving, and he's like, by the way, we are staying at the JW Marriott, which if you don't know what that is a resort in San Antonio, out there like in 281. And I was like, okay, we're staying at the Marriott, period. And he goes, and you have the day off on Monday. I'm like, what? What do you mean I have the day off? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, Kyle literally, because Kyle works near my work, he works near my job, and he went to go talk to my principal and said, hey, I'm proposing to Caitlin this weekend. Can she have the day off on Monday because we're going to be at a resort and we're going to come back Monday to Austin. And so, you guys, everybody in my coworkers knew. Like, I work in a very tiny school, like small private school crew over here. So every single one of my coworkers knew. And I was just like completely like my coworkers were literally like, what are you doing this weekend? Are you doing anything fun? I go, no, I don't think so. I was like, I think I'm just gonna stay at home and just like rot. Rot.
Honey, you got a rock on your finger.
Got a rock instead. We ain't gonna rot. We were fully busy. We were on a plan.
Hey, that was the point. You were supposed to know.
Booked. We were booked. So I was like, okay, period. Like, yes, sir. So get to the Marriott. We get our room. A bottle of champagne comes. I'm like, okay, slay. So then Kyle's like, all right, like, let's. Yeah, it was complimentary from his mom, actually. So shout out to Miss Davila. Thank you for the wine. I mean, the champagne.
The champagne.
It was divine. But so then we go to my dad's house, and that is where my parents and his parents put together this beautiful engagement party. I mean, I literally cried when I walked in because I was just so in shock with who was there. I had aunts from Houston come in. I had my aunts from the Valley come in. And I mean, my step-parent side of the family, I was like, I just couldn't believe everybody was in this one place celebrating us. Like, and the way my parents decorated it, Jules saw it. You guys, it was like a Pinterest dream board. Like I've told everybody that. Like my parents, the way they DIY'd that, didn't hire anybody to do it for them. Like they all Martha Stewart that shit, like to the T. Like it was absolutely gorgeous. Like
Yeah.
it was stunning. Like the details, just I mean, cookies that said Kyle and Caitlin's engagement, and then cookies that like had a ring and said K and K, and then there's popcorn that said Kyle popped the question, and it was just like, I mean, literally everything. Like that was one of the best nights of my life. Like I will always say that. Like that was one of the best days, actually. Like not even night, just day of my life. One of the best. I know there will be more good days to come, but it was one of the best days of my life. Just to celebrate with my family, and then just to see everybody, and then even just like the following day, like staying at the resort the next day, just him and I relaxing. I think that was actually one of the last days I feel like of a warmer, kind of like a warmer day, and because we were able to go to the pool and we were able to go to like the lazy river and enjoy a pina colada without like freezing our butts off. But it was just like the best weekend ever. I could not have asked for anything better. Even when I got to work the next day, I just felt so loved by my whole team. They just got me a sign that said she went from Mrs. MS to Mrs. Like she said yes. And they got champagne for me. We had champagne after work, which, whoa, girl. Champagne after work, it's different. Like after a long day of school, I was like, dang, I gotta pee. I'm like driving on the way home. I was like, oh my God, I gotta stop at a gas station. Like, I cannot hold this anymore. But it was just like, but I mean, like, just, I felt so loved. Like, I felt so loved. I felt so grateful. Like, I wish I could go back to that moment. It was the best day ever. And just, yeah, guys, now comes marriage. The hard part.
Yeah,
Planning a
the
wedding.
big thing.
Oh, don't even go there with planning a wedding, girl. Like, it is gonna be, I'm already stressed thinking about it. I feel like I got a bajillion things on my mind. I'm like, what do I want to do in my career? And then my mom's like, well, you gotta start planning a wedding. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right.
You're like, it's too much.
I'm like, it's just a little much, but okay. Yes, girl. Because I was telling my mom, it's kind of funny that you say that, because I'm just like, I was talking to my mom on the phone this morning, and I'm like, hey, like, I was telling her how booked we are in the month of December. Like, literally, Kyle and I have stuff back to back to back, like, every single weekend. There's not one weekend in December where we're just like, relax. Like, we're just, something is every weekend. And my mom was like, well, don't forget, like, you know, you got to start planning your wedding. I was like, she was like, you know, we got to get together with all the parents and da-da-da. I'm like, Mom, I just said right now that I am booked all of December.
Maybe that's the next year thing.
She was like, oh, no. She's like, I meant after Christmas. I was like, okay, thank you for clarifying, because you've just added more stress to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds like it'd be stressful.
I mean, it is going to be stressful. I mean, and I think, you know, that will be a whole other topic of conversation and a whole other episode, because wedding planning, whew, I'm sweating a little bit.
I can only imagine.
It's already working me up, girls. Like, it's already working me up. But, like, I'm so excited to be in this next chapter of my life, and I'm just so ready to experience this, and just to, man, just like, I feel old, but I'm also just like so happy. Like, I'm so happy, and I think, you know, when my gals over here find the right ones, I only hope that you guys feel the way I feel in that moment, because just to be so loved, that's what I want you guys. That's all I want from you guys, because I know right now the modern dating world is horrible.
Horrible. I'm sorry. I just screeched the mic. Yeah, I can emphasize on that. Yeah, horrible. Not fun. Bonnie and I got a little taste of that just this past weekend.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this past weekend. Yeah.
We didn't have this to talk about when we recorded it the first time. But now that we've experienced new things and now that we know different things, it's like, dang, just more to add on to what we already said before.
No, well, I think it's kind of ironic now that like we're re-recording this because I know in the first episode, like the first time we recorded it, we had kind of said that, like dating right now, like especially like y'all two, like I know the whole Tinder and Bumble,
Yeah, let's
whatever
preface
shit, like
it.
that's
Neither
just
one of us like are on those dating apps. I think we both seem to
Mm-mm.
just want to meet our person in person. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like, there's nothing wrong with like Tinder or Bumble, but sometimes I feel like it's just hard to tell like someone's intentions on there or like what they're
Yeah.
looking for. Like I feel like there's this stigma around like Bumble and Tinder that's just like I mean, we've kind of heard it from Frank, like it's hookup culture basically. Like it's just a
Yeah.
lot of hooking up and I mean, I know there's love stories that come out of that, but I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to go on like these websites either that like that Farmers and Me or whatever the fucking shit. Like, do you guys remember those?
Yeah, what was it? Christian
Farmers
Mingle?
only.
Christian
Oh,
Mingle,
Christian
Farmers
Christian
Mingle.
Only, yeah,
Mingle.
Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, yes.
Oh my gosh. No,
But like, I
yeah.
just like I know because I'm y'all's obviously I'm your bestie, but like I know that's not y'all's vibe. But I think it's
Mm-hmm.
ironic because they all said like we want to meet our person in person, and
Right.
we can also see how that does not go the way we think it's gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes even when you think you think you have it under control, and then it just ends up being something completely different,
I feel
which
like
is
I would.
also called
Oh,
delusion.
Delulu, are you Delulu? I
Girl,
just feel like
yes.
I would love to know, like, obviously, because I'm in a completely different situation from you guys. Like, I'm in a long term relationship. I really don't know what it's like to date, especially like right now in your early 20s. But, like, I mean, just, I don't know. What are some challenges that y'all think, like, y'all
Um,
have, like, have encountered or have, like, experienced with dating, like, right now in this generation, in this age? Like, I'm very curious as to, and I think a lot of people could relate to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Bonnie, do you want to go first? Cause
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
biggest challenges, honest for me. I don't know about Jules. Dating in this world. It's not fun. Um, I think me and Jules both said, yeah, so we're not very much on the dating apps. Want to meet in person. And then, I mean, for me personally, I also am not gonna want to meet somebody like at the bar. So, I mean, best case scenario would be like at work or just like a random day out. Um,
Or through like a mutual, maybe like a mutual friend.
Sometimes it's helpful, yeah, through a mutual
Mhm.
friend because
Oh,
they
but
do know, they
but
do
we've
know.
seen this weekend. It doesn't
Yeah, but
always
this
work.
weekend that didn't very much work out for me. But it's just good meeting people so you get ideas of, their vibes, if you're gonna click or not.
Mhm.
And you go from there. You need to walk in knowing like you could get disappointed. Um, those first dates are just getting to know the person. Like you don't gotta go in thinking y'all are gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend like in the next week. It's gonna take
Mhm.
time to get to realize like, this person is fit for me or not. But you very much well need to go in knowing what you want and
Mhm.
learning who they are. And like just going from there.
Mhm. Just feel like seeing if that aligns like what your standards and like what you want in the future,
Yeah.
which I feel like can be also hard too because it's like, are they on that same level of like maturity as you? Are they on that same like wavelength as you, like timeline wise, like when do
Oh
you want a
yeah,
family? Like
very
I
much so.
feel like now that we're older, it's like that stuff is what matters the most now too. It's like,
Yeah.
is this gonna be like a partner, like a lifelong partner, or is this like a situationship that's just kind of like you're just here for funsies?
Yeah, and I think people like guys, I guess that I've talked to or have just had quick conversations can tell like I'm a very serious person. I mean business, so don't waste my time. Like that's my biggest
Yeah.
thing. Don't even waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the point, on to the next. Like come on.
Period. Period. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
We ain't got no time to be
You're not
playing
gonna hurt
around
my
right now.
feelings here. Like come on.
No, literally. I mean, I understand, like, I feel like Tinder and that stuff can, like, come in handy because I feel like, there's thousands of people in the world, but, like, and I think that could be, like, a pro of it. It's just, like, getting to know people. But I think when it first came out, that was, like, the intention.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And now it's just kind of
I think
like,
I've only heard like one couple I know of that have like succeeded through Bumble, I think it was. I don't even know. But other than
mm,
that, every person that I've talked to that I know is on those, like, it
I
ain't
feel like
working.
it's very also, like, I don't know. Like, I just think like that idea, like, especially with Tinder, because I know Tinder's the one. I don't know what Bumble's like, but I know with Tinder, it's like that
Yeah.
swipe, and I just think
Mhm.
like that's just so like I don't know. I don't know. That concept's just like so odd to me that us as humans have come to that point now. Like we just see someone, we're like,
Yes.
ugly.
Well,
I don't know. I don't
first
know.
too, you're just going off looks, and I know guys are more visual people, so of course,
Mm-hmm.
like they're gonna be there, like looking through a list of girls. But girls are very much like they want that connection. So how's a
Mm-hmm.
girl gonna connect through a picture? Like,
No,
no,
literally.
that's not gonna work out for us.
And like
Yeah.
looks are not everything, you guys. Like you could have
Yeah.
the most handsome man in the world and he's absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but he's a fucking dick. He's a fucking
Right.
asshole. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very I don't know, and I also feel like it's kind of scary too in a sense. Like it's a safety thing for me. Like obviously, like I said, I cannot speak on this, but I just like from what I've seen and what I've heard, like I don't know, like you really don't know like who you're meeting up with. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, especially now with like AI and stuff. Like I just feel like now, like you could visually, like digitally alter, like you as a person. Like we knew Facetune and shit was out like when we were growing up, but now it's like a whole other ball game.
Yeah, I was watching like a reality love TV show thing this past weekend, and like all the like contestants of the show, they were like, "Oh, like do you use, Tinder, do you use any of the dating apps or whatever?" And they were like, "I have before, but I seem like I like kind of caught on with this one thing that they all said is like not everybody is who they say that they are on their
Hmm.
profile." And
Oh
like just a lot of catfish, and like that seems to be like a running theme with these Tinder, Bumble,
I can
Grinder, whatever
definitely see
accounts.
that
Oh
happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like even now, like people do that on social media. Like it's very hard to be like authentic because now you just want to be like for example on TikTok, like when TikTok first came out, it was like the authenticity. Like same thing with YouTube. Like people were authentic. You were seeing their true lives. Now it's like what's gonna get me famous? What's gonna get me views? What's gonna get me likes? And I feel
Yeah.
like with Tinder and stuff, that could be something that's like what's going to get me the swipes, how can I be more appealing if I put
Mm,
this, even though I don't do this or I don't look like that or I don't even like whatever you put,
Mhm.
it could just be more appealing. But then when it comes to the face-to-face conversations, it's like whoa man, like who are you,
yeah,
like who are you? And I
Yeah.
think I'm actually like, I mean, I'm a little relieved to hear that some people are kind of like like I've used it and kind of because I feel like that's just the biggest difference between dating now and dating like back then, like when our
yeah.
parents were dating and stuff. It was just like
Like you had to meet people
you had to
outside of
meet
like your
people.
phone.
Exactly. Like, and I just feel like, just technology has given us access to so many different things, but back then it was just like you said, like you're walking down the street, you bump into someone. Like it was almost like fate. Like
Yeah.
fate has put you
Hmm.
two here. And I think, like I said, like that's just I feel like the biggest difference between dating now and dating back then. It's like are you actually getting to know this person for like them true selves, or are you just kind of like, I think I kind of know this person and things are going great?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but like I said, you guys, to each their own. I mean, this is obviously from,
Yeah.
I think this is just from three people who are, I mean, obviously me, I'm
Been out of
You're
the
out
game
the
a long
game.
been
time.
out of the game. I'm out of the game. But I think even like just speaking from a standpoint of like getting older, like you're getting older, you're becoming a little
I
bit
don't
more.
yeah, and I think like us getting older can put a lot of pressure, like especially on girls because we're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, like we're on very timeline, like want to get married at this age, want to have a baby at this age. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning as I'm growing older, like, girl, I'm still young. I'm only 23, about to be 24. What am I rushing? Like, right now, I'm putting myself first. Like, I want to get ahead in my career. If I want to
Mm-hmm.
continue my education, go do that. Like, do not rush, especially love. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah.
I'm a romantic at heart, and
Oh,
Oh,
and
oh, and I ooh,
and ooh.
and I ooh.
Um,
Oh, so we're frozen on her
for
side.
our audio listeners, we have lost Maricela
We
once
have
again.
lost Maricela once again, but I know what she's saying though. Like she's a big romantic, and I feel like just hold on. I can't get over it. She's literally frozen. Poor gal. Monty, are you here? Can you
Mari,
hear us?
do we have
Don't
light?
go into the light, Maricela.
Mari, we are still here.
We hear you. We see you. We feel you, girl. We feel that passion. Yes,
We
ma'am.
know. We know.
We
I
know.
know. She's got that hand right here. Like she's like,
hello,
girl.
We were like, Monty, we feel you, girl. We feel you.
hello.
Okay, we can hear you now. You're
Okay,
back.
we're good. We're
She's
good.
back, everybody. She's back.
Where did it cut
Yes.
off?
You were saying you're a big romantic. Like you're a big romantic at heart. Like
Yeah.
that's like, and I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, don't rush love, you guys. Don't rush it because I think anything like you try to rush in your life, like that's
It's not gonna
what
work out.
it's yeah, what's meant to be will be. What's not meant to
Mhm.
be will not be. I mean, even if you try to work it out, even if you try like I'm telling you guys, like whatever you like, God, the universe, whatever, like it's gonna push you. Like it's not gonna feel right. Even it's like you trying on a shoe. And it's like, man, these shoes are so nice, but they don't fit me. And you're trying to squeeze your foot in there and you're in so much pain. And you're like, I can't, like, they're so cute and appealing, but I know I'm like referencing the clothes. Isn't that hilarious? That's the
That's
fashion
on brand.
girly in
This
me.
Very
fashion.
on
That's the
brand.
fashion girly in me. But like, it's or like if you want to think about it as a puzzle piece, like it's just not gonna work. No matter how many different ways you try, like it's
Yeah.
not gonna work. And I think focusing on yourself is just like so empowering. I don't know. I think that's just so empowering. I know, for some people out there it can be lonely at times, but I think, just surround yourself with friends, surround yourself with family. Take that time to be alone because I promise you, when you're in a relationship, especially like a long-term relationship, there there is going to be you time, but there's going to be a lot of you and that person.
Yeah.
And that's like something that I've realized from being in a long-term relationship. It's like, like there's a lot of unselfish moments. What? Oh
Girl,
gosh.
what? I know. It's so funny.
What was so funny? Uh-oh, we were
Are
like
you
cackling
are
over
you
there.
laughing because you're saying like Kate needs her alone time too, or what?
No, I was
Oh, I was
saying
like,
something else.
oh,
I was laughing. Yeah, no.
you laughing at me?
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear about whatever you're laughing at me for later.
Okay.
We'll have to hear about that. But I
Um,
just
yeah,
I just like, you're not gonna have a lot of alone time. Like it's very when you're in a relationship, you guys, especially like this is your partner for life, like there's no me anymore. There's really not. And
You
like
and I.
it's you and I. It's you and I. Like there's no me, I want this for me, be me, because that's just and it's just you being selfish. And I get it.
Yeah.
Like we're selfish like we're humans. That's who we are. We're selfish at heart. Nothing wrong with it. But it's about recognizing like, it's not just you anymore. It's about your partner. So I think, tying back into that, like being alone, like enjoy it. Because once you're in that, guys,
You're
You
not
are
alone
in for
anymore.
life.
you're in for life. And like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things like, there's things that you may not like about your partner and you're just like, oh my gosh, like you drive me crazy with that. But it's like, it's not about you though. Is it that you don't like it because you want to have total ownership over that person and you want them to be the way you want them to be, like perfect in your in your head? Or is it that they're trying their best and, you just have to see
You're
it?
not giving him anything in return.
You're not giving exactly like, you have to recognize that some people grew up differently. Some people
Mhm.
have different views on love and
And
relationships
it's just respecting that.
and it's respecting that. It's all about respecting that and just understanding like, you know, I love you for you and communication too. Like that's where that communication comes in with anybody. Like it could be your fiance, your husband, even someone that you're dating and you're like, I see myself with this person. Communicating that, hey, I'm feeling some type of way about this. And they're like, well, I didn't know that. Let me see what I can do. I grew up this way and that's just what I've seen from my parents. So I just assumed that this was normal. So I think just that whole outlook, just having that whole outlook and just sometimes I think we can like, oh, I mentioned this in the last episode. It just reminded me of I heard something and I feel like this ties into like, it can tie into like, when you're in a relationship or you've been in a long-term relationship or I don't know, you're just feeling some type of way. I feel like a lot of people sometimes think, and I feel like this can be a common occurrence in relationships, is the grass is greener on the other side. Like, what if we just broke up? Like, what if this just like didn't work out? Even though there's nothing really wrong, it's just that we're not feeling that type of way that we felt at the beginning.
Yeah, the puppy love
And
phase.
the puppy love phase. And two things like just pop into my head. Like, one is I know the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians. There was an episode, and there's an episode of the Kardashians. I just had to say Kim Kardashian because
I was like, what?
she's like, "Who's that? Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner." Khloe and the Kardashians. Like Khloe's like, bombarding Kris Jenner. If you didn't know, Kris Jenner cheated on their dad, and that's how they ended up getting their divorce and stuff. And so Chloe's like, why'd you do it? Like, I'm not understanding. Like, why did you do that? Why did you feel like you had to do that? And she was like, I honestly just thought the grass was green on the other side. And that's it. Like, I regret it. It's my biggest regret in life because it wasn't. I was in a moment where I just felt like, I guess sometimes women can feel like not appreciated in a relationship. And I feel like men can feel the same way. And so they think like the grass is greener on their side. But my man J. Cole was said, it's not always going to feel like that. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, especially when you've been with someone for such a long time, like, it's not always going to feel like how it did when we first started dating.
I can definitely like attest to this based on my own experiences. With like some past things that have happened in my life. Past relationships and all that. Just I was in that situation where
Uh-oh. I'm frozen now.
think that. Oh no! Did I pause?
No, I
Everyone's
was
good.
frozen. I was frozen.
Oh,
I was
okay,
frozen for a moment too.
But
okay.
I'm unfrozen now.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say like, just like thinking that like
the situation that I was in wasn't it wasn't giving anymore, or at least that's what I thought, because I wasn't feeling it, and I felt like maybe I wasn't in it myself, which made it way harder to give to the other person, which makes it harder for the relationship to work, which is exactly the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're supposed to be giving to them. They're supposed to be reciprocating. You two are, supposed to be on the same, on the same wavelength. And, I kind of gave up on what I was already in because I thought that maybe, what I thought would make me happier would be better off. I would be better off in that situation. Um, and I wasn't. And I think everything that I kind of went through, because of that, like, I wish I could take it back and, redo it. But I mean, I guess that's just part of,
I
being
think
in
it's
that
just
situation.
yeah, and just learning from that situation,
Yeah.
that like it's not always going to be rainbow and sunshine. It's like there's going to be a lot of times where you're like, this is hard. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, why is it so hard? And I think getting through those hard times is what makes the relationship like great, 10 times
I
greater. Now,
agree.
I'm not saying over here, like, I'm not saying, like, if your partner cheats on you and stuff, like, that's a whole different ballgame to me. That's a whole different territory to me. But, there's going to be times where there's arguments, there's disagreements, there's things that you don't agree on, there's things that upset you in a way that's very hurtful and very just you feel like in the moment, like, why am I gonna forgive you? But then you kind of have to look back and think, like, okay, we're not perfect. We're all human here. Like, we all have our fuck ups. And I think, honestly, that's just something that I've learned from being in a long term relationship. It's just like, you know, life's hard. Relationships are hard, but it's who
Yeah.
you do it with is what
Yeah.
matters the most. Like who you choose to do it with matters the most. Because I feel like sometimes there's like stigma of like I gotta find the one, especially with like social media now. Like I feel like social media, like especially TikTok, like tells us how to feel like about relationships, like how we should feel about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen that. Like it kind of like tells you like how
That's why
you
when
should
like I
feel.
feel like when you're going through something, I like try to stay off because one, I don't know how TikTok like the algorithm knows, but I feel like it
Knows.
starts to influence my mind, and I'm like, shut up, like let me make my own decisions.
Like it wants to
Let me
think
think
for
for
you.
myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like thousands of people are like telling you how you should feel about this situation. You're like, yeah, like you kind of just get influenced. You're like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I
You're
should feel
right. Yeah.
like
Unless it's something like super serious, well, obviously I'm gonna open up to my friends about it, but I'm just like to keep everything private so I can figure it out on my own.
Mhm.
And when I need help, like, well, okay, I'm gonna go to my friends, not TikTok.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
and
To
I
think
feel like
for me.
yeah, and I just feel like, like TikTok, social media in general has just created this whole like negative like conception about like relationships and just, like when you're finding someone, they should be perfect for you and they should check off all your everything. Like it's gonna be this and this and that. And it's like, no, fam, that's not what it's like.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that, finding the one versus like finding a partner, finding someone who's going to like,
The
because,
for lifer.
the for lifer, like, like I think if we're finding the one, you're just putting someone in your head that you think like, oh, he's this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like he got abs or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like, like you're like Mr. Perfect over here. Like
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. Like Ryan Reynolds is the one. But it's like, okay, but what do you want in a partner? Like someone that's like you're gonna raise a family with, someone that you're gonna live with until you're like 70, 80 years old. Like this is somebody that's going to go through with you the hard times, the good times, but also the times where you can't get up and they have to carry you back up. Like, y'all, that's what you gotta look at. I'm sorry, I just went on a whole rant right now. I'm feeling
It's
some
okay.
type of way.
Hey, that's the way. That's the way it makes you feel. I mean, you gotta say it. That's the point of the podcast. You gotta let whatever we're feeling out.
Well, I know I just went on a rant right now about like finding the one in relationships and just, I don't know if you guys want to put in any more of your 2 cents about dating and relationships right now.
It takes time. Be patient. My advice: don't rush.
Yeah, I think
Know
my
know
one
yourself.
advice.
Know what you want. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I think mine. I think I said this on the last one, and I would like to emphasize it again because once again, went through this, did this. If I can learn from it, maybe I can help you avoid it. Just like swallow your pride. I mean, I definitely kept my feelings down because I felt like my pride was really getting in the way of like how I felt. And then I realized that if I had just, said some things, I had actually expressed my feelings, it could have, mitigated a lot of problems that I created for myself, which, eventually ended my relationship. But yeah, but fun.
And it's also okay to be in Delulu relationships, you guys.
Oh, honey, we are in the midst. In the midst of a Delulu relation or Delulu-ship.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I literally. Hi, Emily. Sorry that I put you through that on Saturday, but like, literally ran her through my whole timeline of my Delulu-ship. I know homegirl just wanted to get to the car. She was like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She was like, yes, ma'am.
I kept going on and on about
Not
this
the
man.
yeah. Not the yeah. Yeah.
I love her.
Oh, yeah, no, it was the yeah and stop. Stop. I was like, do you have anything else to say?
Give me some advice, please. Like, what should I do?
Yeah, but like she honestly like did give me good advice because I was like, oh, like I'm so done with this man, like blah blah blah, like that was the last straw, right? I'm like ranting to her, and then she goes, just give it time, like dude, just let it play out, give it time, right?
Like
And
Monty
then
said, don't rush it.
no, yeah, and then a couple seconds later, something happened that like diffused my anger from like what had happened. So I mean, it was literally like on like point. It was like, oh, be patient. Literally text message.
Literally, like who knows? Delulu now could be for life or later.
Honey, that's the Delulu right there. That's the Delulu in me, hoping that happens.
It's not Delulu if you're putting it out into the universe. You're manifesting. It. You're like, I'm gonna marry this man.
I wouldn't be mad about it.
You're like, I'm sending him wavelengths right now. Like, we're gonna be married. You were in love with me.
I know,
real hard
I feel like when I think real hard about something, honestly does like happen for me. It's weird.
It's the manifestation.
It's good and bad. It's good and bad though. Because like
I had the opposite situation.
I'll have some weird gut feelings about things and they end up happening.
That's just your like I feel like that's a spiritual thing, Maricela. Like I really do. Like I feel like you have a weird like sixth sense.
Like remember we went to Vegas and I was like, Kate, watch out for your wallet. Like I have a feeling like you're gonna lose your wallet or something. And then you
had a dream about it. You had a dream that some lady
Kate
had
was
all
like,
these wallets.
Maricela, I dropped my wallet and the girl gave it to me. You remember that?
Yeah. No, some person like had a whole bunch of wallets. Remember?
Yeah. You know, it wasn't me. You just told me that, and this guy was like, "Whose is this?"
And it was yours.
It wasn't mine. No, it wasn't. It was like a random person. But it's like you fucking. That's so Raven. That shit. You were like,
I remember being like kind of tipsy in Vegas and being like, "Oh my gosh, buddy, what the hell?"
You're like, "That's so Raven."
You had you had a vision.
You had that's so Maricela.
No, it's happening quite often. I don't like it.
No, I'm telling you, I think you have like a sixth sense. Like some people have that shit, bro. Like they just get these weird like
I don't want it, but I get a weird feeling in my bones. Like I know it.
Oh,
and
you're
then it ends up
psychic.
happening.
You're psychic, bitch.
No.
You're psychic.
Marty, I ignored my situation and then things happen. So that's weird. Like maybe I should just ignore everything that I love.
Yeah, like literally just phase everything out and focus, stay in your lane and focus on yourself.
Stay
Good.
in your lane and drive. Do not
Maybe-
look other way.
Maybe we should talk about, what the listeners had to say.
Oh, yes. We asked you guys for some of your do's and don'ts of dating because I think just to get some other feedback, like what do you guys like think are some do's and don'ts of this modern dating world? And I think we got like, I don't know, maybe like 5.
Yeah, a couple.
But thank you to those people that sent stuff.
Yes, no, we
Very
we
appreciative.
received them and we were like, thank you.
We're like period slay.
Slay. Especially
got-
slay to the man that sent in
I
one.
know one of our male friends that won automatically a girly. I will read the first.
That
I
sounded
can
like a
read-
radio show. Automatic girly sent in phone number.
Hey, it's like a radio show, but it's a podcast. Like period
period.
slays.
Okay, go.
So I want to read. I got 3. So I know. I remember one of the first ones was do. This is like very. I feel like everyone kind of knows this one. Like, do have safe sex. Don't have unsafe sex. Like, yes, if
Be
you
smart.
guys, yeah, be smart. Wear a condom. We got a nurse on the podcast. She knows all those diseases and shit that y'all can get from not using protection. So I'm sure Madi knows.
Yeah, y'all don't need a whole nursing lecture on that, but yeah, just be safe on that.
Just don't do it, you guys. I know
Would be
sometimes.
nasty.
Point is, though, have safe sex, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I got one that said, don't cheat on me with a married couple from Reddit. Literally, I would hope, obviously, like, don't cheat in a relationship. That's on period slay. Like, don't do that shit. Like, it's not fucking funny. Like,
No condoning of cheating.
no
here.
condoning of cheating here. Like, you cheat, you're a fucking loser. Like, I'm sorry. You're a fucking loser. I don't condone it at all. But yeah, don't cheat on someone with a married couple. Especially from Reddit, bro. What? Reddit's weird.
Yeah, I was about to say the Reddit community wild.
The Reddit community is a little scary and is a little red flag. But
Yikes. We didn't
Yeah.
hear that one.
I know.
I know I just saw it, but I like, yeah, don't cheat, you guys. Like, come
Damn.
on, don't do that shit. Be a girly. Don't do that. And girlies
Girlies,
don't do
don't
it
cheat.
either. Girlies and guys, don't do that shit. Like, do you know what that does to someone? It
Traumatizing.
traumatizes them.
Traumatizing.
But yeah, and if you're doing it back and forth, like, well, we do it together, we've done it to each other. No, that's toxic.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
reevaluate that relationship.
Toxica,
Oh
that's
my
toxica.
god.
Like, if you're doing that to each other, like, it's fine, we do it to each other, we've done it to, like, no. Cut that shit off. Wipe your
Get
hands
out
clean.
there.
Walk the
Yes.
fuck away. Like,
Get
Oh my
away from that
God.
situation.
like Monty said, yeah, like, reevaluate because that shit, what? That's crazy.
That's nasty.
All right, this is the best one that I got. Do communicate. It is key to a healthy relationship. Be transparent with your partner. Spot
I like
on.
that one.
Spot
I
on.
literally have actually, I do have something to say about this. I just be transparent. Actually, I'm not going to go into it. Just be transparent. Just be honest
I
with your
think-
partner, you guys.
I think that also tells you like you're just that comfortable with your partner. If you're gonna open up, like,
Well,
just be straight up.
my thing is, like, if you're scared to tell your partner because, like, it's been an ongoing issue or it's been a struggle for you, like, who cares? Like, be
Yeah.
honest with them. Tell them, I'm struggling with this. I need your help. I want to give into I don't know, like a vape or something. Like, be honest. Sorry, I know I'm going into my own personal stuff over here,
No.
but all I'm gonna say is be honest with your partner, you guys. Lying and hiding shit. What? Like, why are we still doing that?
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. I think that kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. Just like, just don't don't hold back on anything. You might need to hear it, and it'll probably end up being better for your relationship
And
in
I
the
think
long haul.
Yeah, and I feel like it's never gonna come from a bad place. Like it's never coming from a place of like malicious or evil or anger. It's like I'm being honest with you. Like this is me being honest with you. Like this is
Mhm.
me trying to help you. Like don't just communicate with your partner, you guys. That's key to a healthy relationship. Any relationship. Friendships, co-workers, whatever. I think that's like communication in general is the best thing that you can do. Especially even with friends. Like I just think like if you're feeling some type of way, what? Why y'all both laugh?
Money looks like this. I just looked down and Money is not about it.
I'm
That
sorry.
cracked me up. It was like when
Oh
you
my
coughed in the first episode, like I just lost it. Cause I was like, oh no.
Oh no, muddy. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Communicate. Don't be dumb. Communication is key. That's the main motto, right? Did you have any more, Kate? Because I think I had my two over here.
I did not have any more. Those are the only that I got.
Okay. Well, so one that I got was, um, you know, and I think we definitely touched on it earlier once again, but make sure that you like them. Don't focus too much on if they like you. Just really focus on yourself, your feelings, and your feelings towards that person. Don't try and make someone like you because you think that's what's best for you. Because it might not always be.
I
And
agree.
then the second one was, just learn more about yourself. You're in your 20s. Find out, what you're looking for. And then, it'll make dating a lot easier when you actually, start going into it.
Oh yes. Those are some good ones. I do agree.
Yeah.
Period slay.
I think that was it.
Thank you to the people that sent us these do's and don'ts of dating. I really liked, getting a chance to like involve you guys in our episode. I think it was fun. And, just to kind of share what you guys think are some key takeaways from dating. And yeah, I think we've come to the end.
This is the end of episode 2.
Take 2.
Episode 2, version 2 at this point, because
let's hope to the bejeebus that this stuff like sounds great because I don't know if I can re-record the same episode again.
that was
It was a little hard.
It's a little more difficult than I thought.
I thought it was gonna go so smooth, and then it was just like, ooh.
It was a little bit hard. So hopefully we didn't bore you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this episode and that you guys keep sending us your comments. I know Jules has said several of you have given us some star ratings. We'd love to hear your feedback. I know some of you have already given us feedback. Please just keep sending us feedbacks, your thoughts, what you think we should talk about for the next upcoming episodes. I think that would be amazing, fun, and great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would love. We would love some of the ratings on Spotify because we're looking at all that, and so
we are,
the more
and it keeps us
y'all engage with it, the more we'll know about how y'all feel.
Yes, and like we said, just keep sending us your thoughts, and we will push out these episodes. We will push them out this time, you guys. We're coming up with a schedule.
Yeah, we got schedule planning right after this.
We're becoming official nowadays.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want this to be a Delulu podcast. Like, we want it to be the real deal.
No Delulus here. Not for the podcast. Just in our lives.
For the podcast. But thank you guys for listening to our episode. If you stuck around for this long, thank you so much. Leave a review if you want to. Give us a follow on Instagram. Unfiltered Minds Podcast.
this will probably come out near Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We hope you have a great holidays with your parents, spouses, friends, whoever you
Friends,
celebrate
yeah.
with, grandparents,
Kids.
kids. Yeah, like whoever you celebrate with. Happy holidays. From the Unfiltered Mind Girlies. We love you guys. And I cannot wait for our next episode and to talk to you guys.
Yes,
Love
I'm
y'all.
excited.
Yay.
Thanks.
All
Bye,
right,
guys.
girlies. Bye, girlies.
Bye.
Bye.